Okay, this is a re-upload of my old Five Nights at Freddy's videos. I very stupidly deleted them after my relationship with FNaF soured after the Goosebumps-esque cash grab books that were awful, in the midst of a bad emotional state brought on by being addicted to reading comments, which I have since trained myself not to do. I was also younger, and I had several mental illnesses which weren't being medicated properly, and I just went fucking insane. And I feel really ashamed of all that now, like I probably really damaged my channel. I'm okay now. It's amazing what Wellbutrin and approaching 30 can fix. I really wish I hadn't deleted these no matter how much I didn't like FNaF anymore. It wasn't fair because a lot of children who didn't understand my jokes really liked these videos, and it wasn't fair to me because I got some good AdSense from them, damn it. Though I don't know why anyone likes these, like my narration is shit, like you can just hear the oversaturated sadness in my voice, the delivery is awful. YouTubing was a poor career choice. So here they are, here's the FNaF videos, the ones I'm not ashamed of showing at least. Just keep in mind that I no longer like the series and Scott Cawthon is a terrible person who gives money to politicians who do not want gun control and want abortion to be banned. Do not give this man your money. Rich Christian Texans are not your friends. I mean, you're probably 12 and fully submerged in irony culture, so you don't care, but hey. Buy merch from Etsy or Redbubble if you have to have merch. Don't spend money on any new games. They only have about 5 minutes of quality control anyway. How you play Security Breach is up to you. Also, keep in mind that these are really outdated, so no one yell at me for not knowing how the fuck Soul Gorilla Glue works or whatever the fuck is currently happening in the lore. Enjoy.
Okay, everyone's got their own take on the FNaF timeline, so here's my useless opinion. This is gonna hurt me more than it's gonna hurt you. So once upon a time, there were these two guys, William Afton and Henry And now I know the Silver Eyes isn't canon with the games, but the name Afton is canon, so I'm gonna go ahead and assume some elements, like first names and some characters are canon too, so William abandoned his beautiful life in England to move to bumfuck nowhere Utah with his friend Henry so they can make robots together. William and his wife meanwhile produce a kid named Michael, then Henry and William opened Fredbear's Family Diner in 1973, starring Fredbear and Spring Bunny, and then later, I guess, Freddy, Bon, what's-her-name, and Fox McCloud. Then William and his wife have some more kids, Masky Boy, Crying Kid, and Debbie Harry. So in 1983, William and his wife's marriage starts to fall apart because it was probably never that great to begin with because William got her pregnant and it was the 60s, so their families forced them to marry, and he made her abandon her life in Bristol to move to Utah, and they start trying to patch things up by rekindling their romance by visiting New York at Christmas, but it just ends up with them stumbling down the street drunk off their asses at 2 a.m. with William shouting, "I could have been someone," and his wife shouting, "Well, so could anyone." So that doesn't work, so they file for divorce. So Crying Kid is all sad all the time, and his only friends are plush toys, and Masky Boy is like 13 or something, and being sad is for pussies, but he really is upset and doesn't know how to healthily express his emotions because Purple Fucker was his dad. Even if William doesn't think he was the kid's dad, because clearly the kid's not the same ethnicity as the rest of the family. He knows that's not his kid, and the mom's always drunk, so he does what most 13-year-old boys do, acts like a complete prick, and takes out his feelings on people weaker than him. Mostly this takes the form of wearing a foxy mask and hiding behind or under shit and popping out of nowhere when you least expect it, which is a perfect metaphor for the series. I know he's gonna pop up, but let's just get it the fuck over with, and then I'll lie on the floor and cry for 3 hours and 20 minutes, and I'll forget what I was crying about and just start dwelling on my insecurities. But, Debbie is probably like a baby or something in 4, so this is hardly affecting her, so she's got a better relationship with her dad later on. So Crying Kid has a Fredbear plushie that tells him to burn things, but he doesn't want to, so the Fredbear plushie just kinda tries to help him deal with his problems a little bit, but really Purple Guy just sewed a walkie-talkie in the Fred plush and drove the kid insane, and now the kid is seeing the plushie everywhere, and that's why he's flowy. So then the kid's birthday comes, and right on the day that his parents go to court to get a divorce, so they leave him with his prick brother and his prick friends, and Masky Boy's like, "Bro, dudes, homies, what if we stuck my bro's head and my dad's a robot?" And they're like, "This is an utterly brilliant plan. What could possibly go wrong?" And then Crying Kid just fucking dies. Then Masky Boy finally learns to grieve properly after causing the death of his younger brother, and William's like, well, if it makes you feel better, he was only your half-brother. So now this kid's parents are divorced and his brother died on the same fucking day, and he's like, wow, I really fucking hate myself and also my life. So Mrs. Afton gets custody of Masky Boy and Debbie, but Michael at this point is like 18 and can do whatever the fuck he wants, so he lives with William, and that's why they're so tight and have the same voice actor, who, by the way, has the most beautiful voice I have ever heard in my life. Listen to this shit.
Father, it's me, Michael. I did it. I found it. It was right where you said it would be.
It's like poetry being read by a god.
And I found her. I put her back together, just like you asked me to. She's free now.
PJ Haywood, you need to do a con just so I can hear you talk some more. So Henry's like, William, your kid died on our property due to an animatronic you helped build as a result of you not watching your kids or raising them correctly. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to fire you. We're closing down this week anyway because we can't get the blood stains off the bear, so it doesn't matter anyway. And William's like, dude, it's cool. I take full responsibility to understand. I hope this doesn't affect our friendship. And Henry's like, of course not. And hey, in a few years, I'll get the company to revamp the place, and everyone will have forgotten about this by then, so we can totally hire you back. But I think we'll scrap Spring Bunny, though. And William's like, what? So because Henry refused to use William's bunny husbando anymore, William's like, fine, I'll kill everybody. So he kills the kid outside Fredbear's and then just drives off like security cameras don't exist. And then he kills 5 more kids outside Pirate Cove just to fuck with Foxy, because Foxy's his least favorite because foxes eat bunnies. And one of these kids happens to be one of Henry's kids, and he's like, oh shit, whoops, sorry, Sammy. Maybe we'll make a spin-off book based on your tragic death and your friend's adventures of breaking and entering. So in 1987, Fazbear Entertainment makes Freddy Fazbear's Pizza that Henry involvement because Henry's dealing with some personal things. Read the book if you don't catch my drift. Not the greatest thing in the world, but it's a solid C+ or B- in my opinion. Anyway, Henry's not around, so Freddy Fazbear's Pizza's opened. William works for them now and helps build the robots and installs this facial recognition software into them, so they see everyone as like a murderer except for him. And then they stick him on the night shift, and he's like, oh fuck you guys, I want to kill even more kids. So he gets out of the night guard duty because the puppet who's possessed by the first kid he killed, and then Foxy who fucking knows what he did. He was there, man. I see you. So William complains and gets off the day shift. So some kid named Jeremy Fitzgerald, who's just trying to make a down payment on his car, gets put on the night shift and has to put up with the animatronics bullshit. And Freddy's like, is that the same guy? And Bonnie's like, Freddy, there's no lights in this place and I can't decide if I have my guitar or not. So they're like, alright, it's the same guy. So Bonnie and Six-Piece Chicken McNobody come out to look for their missing limbs, and Freddy has seen some shit, so they team up with their replacements to try to kill this innocent 19-year-old that's just trying to get a car to drive to college so he can go for a semester and then realize he can't handle the workload and drop out and just spend his day playing video games and crying. I can't believe I just turned Jeremy into my self-insert OC. Anyway, William murders 5 more kids because they fucking put him on guard duty after he built them robots and won't even use this as Bondo. So the puppet's like, okay bros, there's only one thing to do. Steal corpses, shove them into these suits, and hope for the best. Oh, I need a drink. So because William killed some more kids and forgot again security cameras existed, Freddy's closes for like 2 weeks, and they decide to throw away the new animatronics because people won't stop arguing over Mangle and Bonnie's genders, and they're sick of hearing it. And they use the old guys instead and just upgrade them slightly for the new restaurant, because if there's one thing we need, it's another restaurant to tempt fate. So meanwhile, Michael Afton has been in school hoping to become an engineer like his dad, and he's pretty good at it, but William's out of a job and can't pay for his classes anymore, so Michael has to go to community college and gets a degree in graphic design or some shit you can't get a job in. I don't fucking know. But in order to pay for community college, he needs a job. And he sees Freddy's and like, hey, my dad used to work in one of these restaurants, he'll apply here. So he applies, and they're like, oh, your last name is Afton. About that. So he lies and says his last name is Schmidt, so he gets hired to work for the night shift because their other guard named Crouton or something just fucking died. Problem here is Freddy's has only been open a couple years, and despite lasting longer than last place, it's not making enough money to stay open because a diner based on 2 places where a total of 12 children fucking died probably wasn't the best idea. Like, it's one thing to ride on the success of something, but to ride on 2 failures, that's just a poor business model. They think after years of disappointment, you're gonna suddenly find a success with a restaurant filled with killer animatronics. What the hell would that ever happen? So when Freddy's is on its last leg, Fazbear Entertainment scrapes all its money together and is like, okay, we gotta save this. We have to create a new restaurant, a sister location, using new characters where nothing bad could possibly ever happen. But then they're like, ooh, we'll build it. And William's like, oh, ladies. And they're like, God damn it, fine, but only because you're good at building robots. Here's the characters you need to use. And William's like, awesome, I can do that. Can I spring Bonnie too? And they're like, no. And William's like, fuck you, I'm making the murder machines. Meanwhile, Michael got fired and is just sitting at home watching shitty soap operas and crying on the couch and shouting, I could have been an engineer. And then his dad calls him up and is like, yo, Mikey, help me out and build a giant little girl, 2 furries, and the most graceful mannequin ever. So Michael's like, fuck, sure, man. And then he helps build the murder bots. But he doesn't know they're murder bots. So after they build Circus Baby, Kellen Goff, Bon Bon, Fun Tim, Mango, and Boobs Mackenzie, they set up into the restaurant and need to do the most 90s entertainment thing ever, focus group it. They're going to let a limited number of kids into the restaurant and see how that plays out. This happens to fall on one of William's mandatory weekends with Debbie, who's like 9 or 10 or something now, and William's like, God fucking damn it, now I have an extra gremlin running around. So Baby's singing and counting the kids and wondering why the hell she's programmed to do that, but whatever, and Debbie's like, I want to see Baby, Daddy, let me see the robot or I will throw a tantrum of the legs of which this world has never seen. And William's like, look, honey child, your mom said if you die she's gonna stab me in my sleep, so just stay near me, okay? And then so then oh, God damn it. So then William's like, yo, Mikey, watch Debs for a minute. And Michael fucks up and looks away for a nanosecond. Debbie runs off and over to Baby. It's like, why the fuck are you 7 feet tall? That seems excessive, but whatever, you're still cute, I guess. And Baby's like, oh, cute kid all alone. Why is my body shutting down and involuntarily making ice cream? And Debbie goes to grab the ice cream, and then Baby fucking murders her like the killjoy she is. Because Scott Cawthon has an odd fixation on children's suffering. And so William's like, shit. Also, according to a phone call in FNaF 3, there was also a spring suit failure here, so maybe there's more than just the blonde girl that died, and maybe an employee died too, and I don't know. So William's like, hey, Fazbear Entertainment, we can't open, and they're like, fuck, why? And William's like, gas leaks? And they're like, okay, that sounds legit, but we're fucking bankrupt because our current Freddy's is making nothing and we just poured all our money into that restaurant that's never going to open. So they close Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and Baby and friends get moved to an underground warehouse. So later on, William gets some insurance money and convinces Fazbear Entertainment to let him use the robots he built to make his own sister company called Afton Robotics of Dreams and Life and rent them out for parties and shit. And they're like, aight. So meanwhile, the puppet's like, oh boy, another child. I guess I better put your soul in a robot. How about I put your soul in the robot that killed you? And Debbie's like, literally, why? And the puppet's like, no reason, I'm just kind of sick. So he puts Debbie in Baby. Oh my god. Then after William opens the rental place, he creates a thing called the Scooper to rip out animatronics inside when they get too sentient for his taste. This is an utterly flawless plan. So William notices no matter how much he gets Scoop, Baby still stays pretty sentient, and he's like, oh shit, she's possessed by my daughter and wants revenge. So he calls up Michael and is like, hey, Sport, do your dad a solid and work in his underground facility for a few weeks fixing robots so that your sister's soul that's possessing Circus Baby feels at peace and is free from this world. And Michael's like, okay. So Michael goes down there and the computer meme unit thinks his name is Eggs Benedict, and we all have ourselves a good laugh, and then we actually realize that we have to play the game. And so Michael dicks around for a few days, gets memed on some more.
Exotic butters.
And then Baby shoves him into a spring suit from her pizzeria because she thinks he's William, and let's face it, we all want to do the same thing. So Mikey Ego Ben has to watch Ballora get her insides ripped out, and we see how good of a rack she really has. And then the gremlins attack and get revenge for their goddess, and I don't know anyone who actually likes this level. Yet somehow the mini arenas are actually liked more than BB, you know? Life's a bitch. So Michael survives that and goes home and watches old TV shows that only come on at 4 a.m. and shoves popcorn into his mouth like he didn't just go through one of the most traumatic experiences of his life, but let's face it, we've all been there. Then again, he's just seen his parents get divorced, his brother die, his sister die, some of which were indirectly his fault, so he's probably pretty dead inside at this point, and he's just like, yep, same shit as always. So then he goes back to the next night like nothing fucking happened, and he sees 2 dead guys and just like, yeah, okay, I don't care, my soul is dead. And my name is Eggs. Nothing feels real and I just want my dad to love me. So Meme Unit goes and he tells him to fix Baby, and Michael's like, hey. So he goes and Baby's like, hey man, I know I just tried to kill you literally 24 hours ago, but I need you to do me a huge favor. Take this chip out of my arm and then just fucking burn my body, okay? And Mike's like, yeah, this will probably free my sister's soul, sure. So Baby's like, go to the scooping room and just go to fucking town and destroy me. And pretend I'm BB if that helps you. So Mike goes to the scooping room, and it turns out Baby, Ballora, Freddy, Bond, and Foxy took their scooped out innards and cobbled them together to fuse into one being named Ennard, so they can escape by scooping out Mike's organs, ripping his skeleton out, and wearing his flesh as a suit. And Ennard wonders why they don't